Okay, let's just jump right into it. Picture this. You're at the listing appointment, you've done all your homework, and then your seller slides a piece of paper across the table. It's got 3 different numbers on it. Zillow says one thing, Redfin says another, and your analysis, your CMA, says something else entirely. They're all telling a different story.
And then they hit you with that question that just kind of hangs in the air. So, why can't anyone agree on what my house is worth? It feels like they're challenging you before you've even started, right? And that one moment can totally derail the whole conversation.
But here's the thing. What if I told you that moment of conflict isn't a problem? What if it's actually your single biggest advantage? That confusion is your golden opportunity to prove you're the expert in the room. And in this quick explainer, we're going to show you exactly how. First things first, you need to know this isn't just happening to you. This is what we call the 3-number dilemma. And trust me, it's a totally normal, universal part of selling real estate today.
Think about what's happening before you even get to their house. A whopping 63% of sellers have already looked up their home's value on multiple websites. So they're walking into that meeting armed with data, which means you need to walk in ready to provide the context. And this is where all that confusion comes from. Get this. On 41% of properties in the US, Zillow and Redfin are off from each other by more than 5%. So the disagreement your seller is pointing out, it's not a weird fluke, it's the norm. This variance is literally baked into the system.
So, why are they all over the place? Well, it's pretty simple actually. They're just different tools, built for totally different jobs. This isn't about one being right and the others being wrong. All right, let's break it down. On one side, you've got the automated models, the AVMs. They're just algorithms crunching public data, right? Their goal is super broad, just general market awareness. But then you have your CMA. That's a whole different ballgame. It's analytical, it's interpretive, and it uses not just the MLS, but your own eyes, your direct observation. The goal isn't awareness, it's to make a strategic pricing decision. I mean, think about it. An algorithm has no idea about that gorgeous new kitchen the seller just put in. It doesn't know about the new roof or the noisy neighbor next door. It can't understand why the seller needs to move or how to account for market uncertainty. A machine can't build a real strategy. That's the value that only you, the professional, can bring.
Okay, so here's the big move. You take that variance, that disagreement between the numbers, and you make it your superpower. This is how you pivot from defending your number to proving your expertise. It's how you turn conflict into credibility.
Seriously, think about it this way. The online tools spit out one single number, right? Makes it seem so precise. But you come in with a pricing range. And why is that so powerful? Because your range is the most honest valuation in the room. You're the one actually acknowledging that the market isn't a perfect science. You're not ignoring the uncertainty. You're explaining it. Now, let's talk about something that can bite you after you get the listing. It's a really common issue, and we call it the post-listing price trap. You have to explain this feedback loop to your clients. So first, you list the home at the price you all agreed on. Then, within a couple of days, the algorithms scrape that new listing price. And then, bam, the Zestimate or Redfin estimate magically jumps up to be closer to your number. The key is, the algorithm is now reflecting your professional work. But your seller might see that and say, see, I knew it was worth more, when really, the algorithm is just copying your homework. So what's the ultimate strategy here? It's simple. You become the reconciler. This is your key to taking control of the conversation and truly owning that room. Rule number 1, and this is a big one, do not just dismiss the algorithms. The second you say something like, oh, Zillow's always wrong, you've already lost. It makes you sound defensive, and it invalidates the research your client just did. Instead, you explain the data. You acknowledge their numbers. You say, that's a great starting point. Let's look at that. And then you calmly walk them through why the tools disagree, what they're built for, and how your analysis fills in all the gaps they miss. You become the source of clarity in all the chaos. And listen, this approach really works. We see that agents who proactively reconcile all these numbers from the very beginning report 38% fewer arguments about price adjustments down the road. Why? Because it builds rock-solid trust and sets the right expectations from day one. So at the end of the day, it's pretty simple. Every client is going to show up with a bunch of different numbers. The best agents out there, they don't fight it. They use modern tools and strategies like CMAflow to bring all those numbers together and tell one clear, compelling story.
So now you have the playbook, you know the why behind all the different numbers, and you have the strategy to navigate the conversation. The only question left is, how are you going to use it to own the room?